Welcome back to the channel. This is my bathroom. This is a drain plug for the sink, and yet somehow that is a sink that is still filled with water. So we're gonna fix that today. Let's get into it. Alright, if your sink is not draining like this one, that's because something is obstructing your drain and we have to clear that out today. Now, one of the simplest solutions that a lot of people do is get a bottle of Drano, pour that in, and then it chemically reacts to break up whatever is blocking that. I have not had good luck with that in the past, so we are going to skip that today. And instead, this is what we're going to start with. I'll put an affiliate link to a similar one in the description below, but this is basically a drain snake with a bunch of barbed edges to pull out any clogs. Simple enough to use, fish it down into the drain as far as you can, give it a couple pulls, and twist it around as much as you can to try to change the angle to grab anything before pulling out any obstruction that you might have caught. And if that doesn't work for you, this is the next step. This is a more industrial version of effectively the same type of thing. This is just a bigger drain snake, this one reaching about 25 feet. And I'll put an affiliate link in the description below, but effectively this one just has more reach and a hand crank to turn, which helps to wind up and pull out any of that debris. But even so, I had no luck with this one today, which means we are moving on to the next solution, which is this, a designated sink plunger. I got this one locally at a Home Depot for a couple of dollars, but I will link another one in the description below. And to be honest, I've been having more luck using this recently than the drain snakes, probably because of the geometry of my pipes and how many sharp turns mine have. But one thing to note is if you have an emergency overflow drain towards the top of your sink, you're going to have to plug that hole as well for this to work. Otherwise, you are just going to shoot water in your face. And I know this, of course, because I've made that mistake previously, but other than that, it works like a normal plunger. And if nothing else, this should be good for at least punching a hole in that clog so that you can get some of that initial water to drain out before taking any additional steps. And ShamWow, the proof is in the pudding. This one already cleared out that initial drain, but let's continue because this is a consistent problem with my sink. So looking at the drain piping on the back of the sink and then where it goes into the wall, you'll notice all these little bends and a whole lot of different connections where those different pieces of pipe are attached together. Especially on an older house like this, where you have a couple different materials that are being joined together, what typically happens is you'll have a little bit of a lip at some of those interfaces where you have something getting coupled. Over time, a little bit of debris can start to catch on that lip and then slowly build up until it slowly starts to block the entire pipe, creating this recurring problem of this sink clogging every couple of months. And the way to resolve this is to manually take all of these apart and clean out everything to the best of our ability before reassembling it as close as we can, which, depending on how old or how unserviced your pipes are, might mean that you have to replace them because some older or more brittle pipes might not exactly come apart and go back together in one piece. But that said, we are going to start by disassembling this little U-shaped piece that is called a P-trap, but because it holds water, that also means the water is going to spill out once you open this, so try to get some sort of a bucket or container underneath this. The only thing I can fit is this container, but just realize you're probably going to spill a fair amount anyway, so just have some rags or some towels that you don't care about on standby. And furthermore, any water that you still have in the sink that you haven't been able to clear out, well, guess what? That is also going to drain out of these pipes the second you get them cracked open. So if your sink is still filled with water, also plan for that amount of volume to come out and try to empty as much of that as you can by hand, probably by scooping it out with a plastic cup prior to opening up that drain. But after taking those preparations and changing into an outfit that I don't care if it gets covered in sink drainage, go ahead and I loosen up that first connector on the P-trap, and then I realize that the other one doesn't want to turn without turning all of the pipes, so I loosely thread that first connection back on while I try to loosen the second connection that's hidden behind this pedestal. It did take a little bit more effort to loosen that other connection that you can't see, but once it broke free, it came off relatively quickly, and then I was able to take out that entire P-trap and then dump it into the container I have below. Now keep in mind, what we're looking for today is something that is obstructing and blocking these pipes, causing buildup. And shifting our attention to the P-trap, you can see that it's quite gross because water is constantly sitting in it, but it is not clogged in any manner. I'll probably blast this in the bathtub with a bunch of dish soap to clean out anything that's in there currently, but if you wanted to run one of those drain snakes through, you could easily see that this is not the source of our clog, which unfortunately means it's either past this elbow or past the next one and down behind this wall where it's more challenging to get to. So with the P-trap out, we look down here through the pipes, you'll see there is nothing in this first section. That is good, but you'll also notice that if you look here in the roughly 11 to 12 o'clock position, there's that black spot, and that's where the connecting rod is supposed to come through that controls that little drain plug that pops it up and down. And looking at the back here, you can see there's one nut that we we would have to loosen that keeps this entire assembly in place. Now let's say that your assembly is gross, you don't want to spend the time cleaning it and you'd rather just buy a new one. This new one was about $9, so if you're really looking to save yourself a little bit of labor, or if yours is looking pretty corroded, it's easy enough to pop in a new one anyway. Now mine was so corroded that it broke off and probably is part of the reason that these pipes are clogged today, but in general that's an easy place for debris to snag, so if you already are at this point with everything pulled apart, you might as well take that off. Now to remove the little drain plug popping mechanism, first I'm going to slide the metal bit off of that little shaft, that way I'm not scratching the crap out of my hands while I'm reaching back there, and then with a pair of channel locks break that nut loose and then loosen it the rest of the way by hand. And as you can see, this one is completely broken off, so like I said, if you're already down here pulling things apart, this is a perfect time to do this as well and replace it if you need to. But now let's shift our focus to where this pipe enters the wall. The first thing I notice is the base plate covering that pipe going into the wall is actually not installed properly, which is just the theme of everything that was touched by the prior owner of this house. But just in case we happen to get lucky, I'm going to start with the drain snake and then that drain auger, which is a little bit longer again, in the hopes that one of those might reach the clog here, even though we couldn't necessarily reach it when we were going in from the sink above. But unsurprisingly, with this being the easier part of the geometry to get to with that auger, there's nothing that we can reach from here now that we couldn't really reach before. So here's a different helpful tip, is that you can actually loosen the connecting nut on that next section of pipe and turn that one connector to an angle that's easier to reach, and that does help you fish the auger in at a more convenient angle. And you might be asking yourself, if you know this isn't going to work, then why are you even attempting it in the first place? And that's because this gives us another very valuable piece of information. Basically, I can only get this auger to feed so far into this drain, which means either number one, I'm hitting the clog, or number two, I'm hitting a really sharp turn or some sort of geometry in the pipe which doesn't allow the auger to pass through it because it's too sharp of a corner. The same type of corner that's going to block the auger from going is also going to inhibit any water from flowing really naturally and is more likely to catch anything that's going down the drain and then eventually cause a clog. And based on how much of the auger I'm able to feed, I can estimate that that's about 12 to 14 inches past where this goes into the wall. And this wall penetration is more than 14 inches off of the floor, which also means that this is not clogged all the way down below in the pipes that I can access from the basement. This is most likely legitimately clogged in the middle of the wall, which means it is the least easy area to access. Now, compounding this issue is that when you're turning the auger in a really high torque situation, like where you have a lot of bends, the auger isn't always the best or most effective at transferring 100% of that torque down to the clog at the end and actually grabbing it. Because this thing is a little bit springy, sometimes instead it just sort of flails around inside of the piping. So instead, we're going to try to do this with something that has a little bit more stiffness to it, and that is using an old metal wire hanger. Now I'm going to unwrap this, roughly bend it into what we know about the pipe profile so far so that we can get around the major corners, and then effectively do the same sort of twisting motion with this in the hopes of breaking up that clog manually. And to try to make this a little bit easier on myself, I did end up loosening that coupler and actually removing that first elbow just to make it one less bend that I'm trying to work around. And then I actually switched back and forth between this close hanger and the auger, and also added in the sink plunger put directly over the opening on this connector. So don't really take this as a progression of like you have to use this tool, then this tool, then this one. It's really going back and forth between the ones that you have available to you, because each of them have strengths and weaknesses, and try to utilize all of them in a way that maximizes their strength so that collectively you can clear this out to the best of your ability. And let's just say after about 20 minutes of switching between these three and absolutely scraping every and any surface that I could on the inside of that pipe, I was very confident that I had removed about 100% of anything I possibly could with the tools that I had available. But let's say for some reason that didn't solve the problem for you, well then we have to move on to the next phase, which is going into the basement and cleaning it out from the other side. So this is the overhead in my basement. This is underneath where we just were. This first drain here is the drain for the bathtub. This second one here is where the sink comes in, and then this third one off to the left is where the toilet is hooked up. And basically I can tell that with the alignment of how those two are pretty much inside of where that wall is located versus that third one being about a foot or so out from where that wall is. But if you weren't able to clear it from the top, usually there's some sort of an access hole somewhere down here on the basement side. So coming here to the end, you'll see there's this big end cap. Basically what I would have to do in this situation is open that up, reach down, and then try to go backwards up the elbow to unclog it from this side. And needless to say, with this also being connected to the toilet on this end, that is not exactly a desirable solution, and fortunately I don't need to do it, so I will not be doing it. But for your knowledge, should attacking it from the top side not work, that's probably what you would have to do next. But having successfully avoided the crappier end of things, we are now ready to go back up into the bathroom and start reassembling everything. But the reassembly is very straightforward, with the one exception being that getting that little drain popper in is a little bit finicky. But as a general rule, if a connection had any of that like thread tape on it previously, you should probably re-tape it. And if it didn't have tape on it previously, it's still not necessarily a bad idea, because worst case it's just gonna leak and you'll have to fix it again. But also keep in mind that at least in this case all these pipes are plastic, meaning that they are not invincible, so do not over tighten them to the point that they crack. But having said that, a tighter connection is typically a more waterproof connection, so try to find that nice balance. For me, that balance is hand tight plus like a half turn using a pair of pliers. But if it's really fighting you when you're trying to turn it, try to think to yourself for a second, hey, am I about to break this, and would that make my day a lot worse? Because if the answer is yes, then you should probably stop turning it. And the only other thing to note is that it might be very tempting to clean off all these components prior to putting them back into place, because it's a little bit easier to clean them off when they're just in your hand and not attached to anything. But speaking from personal experience, you're probably going to waste your time doing that because you're somehow going to messy them anyways once you're putting them back into place. So for me, I just installed everything and then cleaned it all off at the very end. And at least in my experience, that turns out to be faster in the long run than cleaning it, installing it, and then cleaning it a second time. And once you have everything back together, you're going to turn on the water to have your moment of truth of whether or not this is going to leak or if it's going to clog. Either of those are considered a failure, so what I would recommend is keeping your plastic containers in place while you're testing this, because this could also ruin your day.
All right, no leaks. You can hear the water flowing, and as you'll notice, it's not backing up anymore. Then I can pull this. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. All right, so I didn't have the tension rod tightened enough on that, so we'll get that fixed. Otherwise, if I push this manually, pop it up, it drains, it works properly.
So if anybody ever asks, you can use this video as proof that I've always had a screw loose. But of all the things that I could have forgotten to tighten today, this was the least catastrophic, so honestly, of things that could go wrong at the end, I am sort of okay that this is the problem that happened. Because within a couple of minutes, I had this completely resolved and fully functioning, which means I was finally done with this project.
But 3 hours into this 30-minute job, we have cleaned out a consistent clog from our sink. Now in reality, most of that was me repositioning the camera and the light, so it's not going to take you nearly as long to do that at home. But with that, I am going to clean all of this up and then hop in the shower because I'm quite disgusting. But that'll do it for this episode. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Oh, I thought I had it.